Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Happily. And this is a new comedy, crime, romance, thriller, at least according to IMDb. And this is from writer Ben David Grabinski, who also directs this film, and it focuses on a couple, played by Joel McHale and Carrie Bish, who have this seemingly perfect relationship. They're introduced in a perfect way in great slow-mo as Bish is walking through a party, and then she turns around and sees this man. It's Jeff Winger from Community, Joel McHale. And they have this thing with their eyes, and they seem like love at first sight. And then with some exposition between Madrigal's character and then another couple played by Paul Scheer and Natalie Zia, you find out, no, they've been married for 14 years. And they went off to the bathroom to have some sex. And they seem to have this perfect relationship. They're not always happy, but they get over it really quickly. And they have sex 2.5 times a day, on average. Not counting other things. And I'll tell you about that in a second. But you have this couple, and they seem perfect. And they're supposed to have this couples weekend, 5 couples at a house, but they're told to not come because everybody hates them because they're so perfect. And they can't stand them. And this is a shock to them that people would be judgmental about their loving relationship and overly affectionate relationship, which, honestly, I have a lot of trouble with these people who have a lot of trouble with it because get over yourselves. But all of a sudden, this couple is met by Stephen Root, one of the best character actors around. And he's a strange man in a suit who tells them, I have this injection. You have to take it because you're born defective. And strange things happened after this, and they're whisked back off to this weekend with all their friends, and they're on edge about this man and what has transpired. And you have this big ensemble of 10 really strong actors doing their thing, and I've talked about a few of them already, but you also have thrown in there, you have Natalie Morales and John Daly, and Natalie Morales is probably the nicest and connected one to Michaela and Bish's characters. She seems to actually care about them, but they're in this house full of a gun room, and they're renting it for the weekend. There's cameras everywhere, and then you have a lesbian couple played by Kirby Howell Baptiste, who is in The Good Place, and Shannon Woodard, who is in Westworld, and then their friend played by Breckin Myers brings his new fiancée played by Charlene Yee, and everybody seems to have some problems. You know, John Daly's character seems to be quite an asshole, honestly. And Natalie Morales is the only one who seems very chipper about everything. Zia, she definitely has some feelings for some other people at this party. And you have all these different dynamics playing out. And this film balances this tone of thriller and on edge. The score really works with that, with the ambiance. This film is edited and played out like a thriller, along with the atmospheric music. There's some impressive camera shots and camera work in the film, whether it's solid use of slow-mo or some Dutch angles or the lighting going on in the film, whether there's some certain scenes where we have Bish's character watching something on one of the security cameras and just this red light because that's the color of the camera video, and you have all these different things working to build this tension for a film that honestly has some really solid laughs too. There's some great character interactions. The big thing where this film feels like it doesn't really come together and it doesn't explain enough and uses some cheap ways of getting out of some of it. And it's a bit muddied, it's a bit murky in terms of exactly what it's trying to say, but it's a very charismatic ensemble. Not all of the plot points make sense, or how this happened, how does this character know this thing and that thing, and how this gets set up. And the film decides to not tell you and basically tells you it's not important. But I feel like there's certain things you do need to feel. And I do have to say, the soundtrack, the musical choices in this are impressive. And I had to look up a couple of them because I'm like, I want these on my Amazon Music. And leading up to a finale that is challenging and complex and it's definitely going to make you think, but does it really feel fully realized and feel warranted? Do things kind of wrap up too quickly? And all those things could be argued about the finale. But the thing is, over the course of this hour and 35-minute film, I definitely had a lot of fun. And I enjoyed it. I appreciated the different kinds of thrills you got, the laughs you got, and some interesting characters with a committed cast of all of these actors really selling their roles. And in the end, I feel like Happily it's a strange film, but it's definitely one worth taking your time to check out at least, and gauging whether this is something that you would definitely want to come back to or not. And I think at some point in the future I'm going to be watching Happily again. But those are my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.